Welcome back, NBA fans. What if the Los Angeles Lakers just quietly pulled off one of the smartest offseason moves in the entire league and nobody even realized it happened inside a gym in Slovenia? Because here is what is wild. This was supposed to be a simple bonding trip. Luka Doncic chartered a private jet, a Bombardier Global 8000 flew roughly 14 of his new Lakers teammates across the Atlantic to his homeland, put together custom Slovenian gift bags, took them to dinner at his favorite restaurant, organized a fishing trip out at the legendary lake, bled and even squeezed in a round of golf on. On the surface, it looked like a European vacation with some basketball mixed in, but something happened in that gym in Ljubljana that changed the entire conversation around this Lakers era could actually become. Let us back up for just a second and understand the full picture here, because context matters. LeBron James is gone after more than 6 seasons in Los Angeles. The King packed his bags and signed with the Philadelphia 76ers, leaving the Lakers without the most dominant presence the franchise has had since Kobe Bryant. The team was swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second round of the playoffs, which essentially forced the front office to blow the roster up and start fresh. When the dust settled, Los Angeles had 11 new faces on the roster. 11. That is not a rebuild. That is practically a brand new franchise trying to figure out who it even is before training camp begins. That is exactly why Luka Doncic did what he did. He did not wait. He did not sit back and let the team figure things out in October. He took control, flew his teammates to Slovenia, and started building the culture of this Lakers team on his terms, in his home, on his soil, and that alone tells you everything you need to know about how serious Luka is about making this work. The trip started on a Thursday night with a team dinner, and then the group went straight into hours-long practice sessions. Throughout the weekend, this was not a vacation. This was Luka drawing a line and saying, "This is how we are going to do things now." But here is where the story takes an unexpected and genuinely fascinating turn. During one of those workouts in Ljubljana, NBA insider Mark Stein, one of the most plugged-in reporters in the entire league, noticed someone sitting in the arena stands watching the Lakers practice. And when Stein asked around to find out who this person was, the answer sent shockwaves through the basketball world. The man in those stands was Holger Geschwindner, the legendary German basketball mind who spent decades crafting and perfecting the game of one Dirk Nowitzki. Think about what that name means. Holger Geschwindner is not just a shooting coach. He is not some guy handing out cones and running drills. He is arguably the most brilliant basketball thinker Europe has ever produced. He was the captain of the West German basketball team at the 1972 Munich Summer Olympics. He found a teenage Dirk Nowitzki, recognized a generational talent that nobody else could see, and spent years building a system around him that was so unconventional, so ahead of its time, that even now the league is still catching up to it. Geschwindner did not just teach Dirk how to shoot, he taught him how to think, how to move, how to create angles that defenders could not account for, and how to maintain those mechanics under the most brutal playoff pressure imaginable. The result was a Hall of Fame career, an NBA championship, and MVP, and one of the most beautiful individual games the sport has ever seen. And now he is in a gymnasium in Slovenia watching the Los Angeles Lakers run through drills, so naturally everyone lost their minds trying to figure out what it meant. Stein cleared it up by explaining that Geschwindner has been working closely with Luka through the Total Hoops approach, which is Doncic's youth basketball initiative run in partnership with the Search Institute and funded by Luka himself. So the connection between Luka and Holger is not brand new. They actually became close during Doncic's time in Dallas when he overlapped briefly with Nowitzki during the 2018-19 season. The foundation of their relationship was already there, and Luka has continued to invest in that bond through his work with young players. Now, the nuance here matters, and it is worth being honest about it. Geschwindner was not officially brought in as a Lakers assistant coach. He is not part of J.J. Redick's staff. The official answer is that he was there because of his involvement with the Total Hoops initiative. But here's the thing about nuance in the NBA. When a man with that resume, that mind, and that history sits in those stands and watches your team practice for hours, something is happening. Ideas get exchanged, eyes are watching, and when the man who built Dirk Nowitzki's game is watching Luka Doncic's new teammates run through offensive sets, you better believe the environment in that gym changes. The energy shifts, the standards rise. Even an 80-year-old coaching genius present in the building sends a message to every player on that floor about the level of seriousness this operation is being run with. Now think about what this specifically means for some of the younger players on this roster. Bronny James is out there, Dalton Necti is out there, Thizar, guys who have spent the last couple of seasons trying to carve out an identity. While playing in the shadow of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reaves, their shooting confidence has been inconsistent. Their offensive roles have been limited, getting to exist in the same space as Holger, Geschwindner, even informally, even just by observing or hearing him speak about the game is the kind of experience that money cannot buy. Geschwindner's entire philosophy is built around unlocking a player's natural movement and spatial intelligence, not cramming them into a system. For players like Bronny and Necht who need to find their footing and develop a clearer offensive identity, being around that kind of thinking at this stage of their careers could quietly change the trajectory of where they end up. The projected starting lineup for the Lakers this coming season is shaping up to be Doncic, Austin Reaves, Quentin Grimes, Sandro Mamukelashvili, and Walker Kessler. That group has legitimate shooting range, elite playmaking through Luka, and now a legitimate interior anchor in Kessler, but the reality is that most of these guys have never played meaningful minutes together. The chemistry question is enormous, and that is exactly what this Slovenia trip is trying to answer. Before the season even begins, JJ Redick is going to have real decisions to make about rotation guys like Collin Sexton, Kevon Looney, Jared Vanderbilt, and Matisse Thybulle. Getting all of these players in the same space for 5 days, building actual human relationships before the pressure of the regular season kicks in, is exactly how you give a new team its best chance to compete from day one. And yet, even with all of this positive momentum and visible commitment from Luka, not everyone is completely convinced that this Lakers era is going to have a long and stable run. ESPN's Tim McMahon came out and said what a lot of people in the league are quietly thinking. He noted that rival front offices around the NBA are absolutely keeping their eyes on the Luka to Lakers situation. His exact words were that teams are looking at this and thinking that if things go sideways, they would love to get Luka in the middle of his prime. That is a chilling statement when you sit with it, because it means the vultures are circling even now, even while Luka is spending his own money to fly his teammates across the world and invest in building something real in Los Angeles. Luka did sign a 3-year, $163 million contract extension. He has given zero public indication that he wants out, but the Lakers organization has had its share of ownership turbulence, and a roster with 11 new faces is a roster that still has to prove itself. The real test will not come until 2027, when the next extension window opens. That is when we will find out whether this Slovenia trip was the opening chapter of a dynasty or just a really expensive and beautiful prelude to another move. But here is what we know right now today. Luka Doncic is doing everything right. He is spending his own money on his teammates. He is opening his home to them. He is introducing them to the kind of basketball wisdom that only exists in the company of people like Holger Geschwindner. He is setting the tone before anyone else has even started to think about training camp. This is not a player who is looking for an exit. This is a player who is trying to build something. The king has left Los Angeles, but a new era is being built quietly in a gymnasium in Ljubljana in front of a man who already made one basketball legend. And if Luka Doncic has anything to say about it, he is not done yet. Drop a comment below and tell us, do you believe Luka and the Lakers can make a championship run in 2026-27, or is this roster still a year or two away? And if you are not subscribed yet, now is the time, because this Lakers season is going to be must-watch television from the very first game.